Here. They finish faster. Continue with force. That's when I was. Yeah. We did it. Yes. Like, for you. Sorry, you release that in the first two or she's yeah. See. Yeah, that's it. We'll start. This is going after the door. Yeah, check. Here. Yeah. Well, I can hear. Yeah. I check. So, yeah. Check. Yeah.
No, that's what I mean.
Yeah, you keep talking about something. You're going. Check. Can you hear me on the lawn? Can you hear me real good? Hello? Hello? Yes, what's this that? I got a future that's rough, a vision that's tough. Really know what the reasons. All the ways and hopes to. So I get the song to sing with you guys. Cherokee people. Take me try. He wants me to top. And the love of house and of down. That was cool. So we know that roses.
When you guys excited about this time?
I think somebody should do it.
I just, you know,
Maybe you just sit right here and goes to you. Okay, keep talking. Maybe you just sit right here and just hold the plan. And you say, that's so they can see how you're planning out. I don't know, just to do it.
well, we get it going. It's fun.
Yeah, or you eat that or two. I won't just shut off. No work day. No work day, work day. It's like, he's doing something with the live stream, I think. But it's not, it's flashing here, yeah. Oh, it's flashing, yeah. Try. Try turning it on. Yeah. So something about a randomizer. Check. Here's what I'm gonna do. Anybody got any paper? Yeah. Check. You got any? Check. Wait, Andrew, come up. Check, test. 1, 2, 1, 2. Yeah, randomizer by changing the bullshit.
I'm just seeing what happened.
Yeah, I'll see you in the live, watch the live, and maybe we should, everyone wants to drive on into our YouTube channel. But we can record it or the audio and then also post it up. So I think the audio is gonna be more.
Well, you got to be so very high. But I think it's cold. Then go off.
I think it's good to have audio too.
This is not very loud.
Really? Mine's loud as shit.
It is.
Yeah, phones. Really? You have a pen? Aim at me. He's like. Yeah. I don't know where all the,
Was this is your question comparison, so I gave it the same, students, ones that we find. Yeah.
yeah. So so what we're gonna do, when they finish, we're gonna just do a randomizer, and everything that they will start first.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now just to do it again, and do 4 games. Chris, you are by far older cheaper than Bible shit. It's so good, it's, yeah. It's big. Yeah. Yeah, he knows, he's.
Of course, it went off on my watch, so you just gotta go time. These are stubborn people, so
I mean, I can log it
yeah.
and just set the timer on my phone.
Yeah, time. Yeah, maybe just sit over the side. Okay.
And she has a randomizer, so she'll just do the numbers.
Yeah, you got that randomizer app? Yeah, I just put I put your name in the stack call randomizer.
I was just gonna sign another. Starting at 11. Now, are we? Yeah. 11:00. What if we start at 11, right? But we have this indicated summary, everything else, we really should. Yeah, we just go left or right line. Yeah. So do we start with the person who finished last?
What?
Or do we move over?
No, you just move over to the next one. Next.
So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. Or would we just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4? That'd be easier. So the person who finished gets to go first the next time. Then they'll always be the same.
No, I think you have to do it like 1, 2, 3, 4. So the first person goes last on the next one.
So 1, 2, 3, 4.
So then on the next one, this person goes last.
Oh, then you go 1, 2, 3, 4. Right. So just keep it together. Woo, man.
Hey, sorry.
See you again. You guys can smile and sit together here. How many
Usually we're.
Yeah. It's pretty good. Like,
All right, it's a work. So we're good.
set questions that we can, yeah, you know, please. Slide. Okay, yeah. Forward. Second. Yeah. Favorite number.
Yeah.
If you want to be way to the end, you want to be just.
There's the, you want to try it? There are seats, so I just kind of go to the.
Like, I have a question.
Okay.
Maybe let's figure out what it's about.
I'm gonna have. I'll be here, I'll be here. I'll have to see about here this, What? No cookies?
Yes.
No cookies,
Yeah, you had.
You turn it formal and it
Did you really?
I saw. So we have. I did, try to bait on chip.
Yeah, you use that. Oh, it's only mine. Don't need mine. Mine, the really nice organs. Really good. Oh, they did.
I want to be able to. No. That was awesome.
Wait, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Maybe should have.
Oh, we did.
So let's.
You're all ready.
The elevator's over here. No, I mean, right to West Coast. You can see, and then we will go over the. It worked great, so you like. He said, so, oh, Larry. Yeah. Oh, wait. Wait here. Okay. What's the job? You will. Okay. Hey. I haven't been on myself. Is the parts of their body? Yeah. That one guy, I like it. In fact, right, yeah. It's a little place. It's not as.
How you doing? Yeah, what, can I ask you a big favor? Can I steal that?
Sure.
I'm just gonna be operating.
No, it's one check.
Yeah, scan it down.
Back on her.
Oh, yeah, you're what?
I'm sorry. It's involved different ideas
Yeah, he was yelling at me today about nothing, but I mean.
Yeah, I texted him, told him his ass out, he was not happy.
Well, I just want to get started. It's nonsense, so that's what.
Before we get started, just, pull that off, press the button and it'll turn red. Okay? Thank you.
You got it. You got it. Yeah.
Yeah, shit, grass, right? So, yeah, I couldn't reach it, you know? Read it, then it sent me something, and I was able to print out, and I'm like. So that today I went to a wallet shop, and I got a hit that, I'm like, I can get a refund for it for you. It was in the garage or in the scrap bucket. But defect. Yeah. I think the roads are done. I don't know, and down. But shouldn't have. It shouldn't have. That's what we did. Broke it loose and we kind of felt something. And remember if you wipe those pipes off? Just got me a speed dial, right? But we get that charge. I mean, that job went terribly.
See that? We got a leak for it. Hey, go. See.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Took that key out from the way. Great.
Oh, you can get locked. Lock it, yeah. The top, everything, just screw right on. Plus, we just get you a new valve. Key. The key like your other valve top there. Remember, we put a fitting on it, we'll have to solder it. Oh, okay, you're
It's gone now. Anyway. All those times.
Was it a fold out?
So I thought you were going to tackle me at the door. So you're going to tackle me at all. Oh my God. Okay. That's like. Oh, there you go. See, I never had my heart. I'll give you a box. I said,
Huge.
Single space.
All right, folks, so we can about ready. We're starting here. Going.
Yes, please. Are you sure?
Yep.
Okay.
All right, well, welcome to the North Beach Community Association Candidate Forum. We really appreciate you all being here, and we especially appreciate candidates coming out. It's all about how they're gonna help St. County to their best pleasure. Next slide, please. Leading up to the forum, we sent out 2,500 mailings. I think some of you saw them while you're here. We're supporting the Measure for Sand. Definitely love what's been done recently with our beaches, and we hope that that can continue. Next slide. These are just some of the ground rules. I'm not going to read them all. We're really looking forward to the candidates giving us their input on what they will do. We're not interested in hearing what they think others will do. We hope we can stick to that forum as we go through this. We will be recording it, putting it out on our North Beach Community Association pages for people to see later. So I'm really looking forward to having that as well. That's fun. This is all kind of new to us from the standpoint of North Beach. I think we did a forum 10 years ago or something. So we're trying to get back into it. We have various times on the cards. Some are 3 minutes, some 2 minutes, some 60 seconds, some 1 minute. So each slide will tell you what you have. At the end, we will have a summary for y'all, and we'll just do a randomizer. Ellie's going to help me out with that. Just add in her phone to the same button, and whoever she picks will be the one that starts, and we'll just walk. And then the event will last through 7:30. We have a lot of questions. We received some in email. We have others that were brought up through witnesses. And so at the end, we have time to take some questions.
Yeah, officially the event that ends at 7:30. We have the space longer than that. We'll probably run over since our format's a little experimental here, so bear with us. The candidates do have another event tonight later, but we'll probably go till around 8 o'clock, and then if we can fit everything in with some questions from the community.
So with that, we'll start out with our candidate introductions. And tonight what we're gonna do is start from the left here, 1 through 4, and then we'll come back and do 1 through 4, just keep moving randomly through it. As the easiest way to give everybody a chance to go first and everybody a chance to go last. So with that, we'll start out with Amanda.
Yes, I'm honored to be here. My name is Anna Garcia. I'm a San Clemente resident for over 50 years. Been out in the community.
frequently attend city council meetings, bringing common sense solutions with high community support. I have established a good rapport with the city staff, city manager, and major stakeholders and representatives. I have been advocated for many sanctuary issues throughout the years, such as opposing Amazon warehouse. And along with the grassroots movement, I oppose the toll roads through San Clemente. I support public safety for years. I also brought concerns with other residents, concerns regarding unnecessary city expenditures and concerns regarding the budget. Through my advocacy, I've been in point of contact for many residents that come to me regarding to advocate for their city.
Here.
Hey, can I ask to just speak into the mic?
Yeah.
We had a very difficult time here.
Okay. Well,
Can you hear me?
Yeah, but there's.
My name is Lois McNichol. I'm running for City Council District 3. I have been regularly attending and speaking at City Council meetings for 3 years. I'm a first-time candidate, not a politician. Every election year, residents hear the same thing from candidates. My accomplishments, my background, my experience, so vote for me. I propose a contract in the city of San Clemente. On day one, I would seek to add private security to supplement and assist law enforcement with patrols and preserving the quality of life. Ensure that local businesses are awarded certain contracts and protected from corporate takeover. Propose a sand restoration option that would be permanent, neutral, much less expensive, proven effective, and cover 4.6 miles of beach. Begin a campaign of transparency in the city council and improve public engagement with residents.
thank you.
This one works great.
I'm Angela Watts. I am a mom of 2 young kids and a small business owner here in San Clemente. I'm not your typical candidate. This is not where I ever expected to be. Definitely did not expect to run for city council until my daughter experienced her first lockdown at Los Palmas. Imagine going to pick up your daughter from school and the police has the whole block on lockdown and they tell you they're looking for a guy. I'm thrown into action. I started the Los Palmas Safety Committee. I started a petition, and I partnered with our school board and our sheriff's department to get better fencing, security cameras, and lighting to protect your kids and our teachers. I'm running on a proven track record of getting things done. And I hope to earn your vote after tonight. Thank you.
I'm Rick Butler, retired after 36 years in Los Angeles Police Department, lived with it for 25 years. About 7 years ago, I got involved in community council meetings and appointed to the Public Safety Committee. Was chair of that committee. During my time there, we initiated and passed several ordinances that help public safety. We helped sheriffs give them some tools to really address the challenges we have here. My first act on city council was I brought back it was voted down, the security contract that we had. It's a proposed contract. I brought it back. We got that private security here to address the problems we had. I think you all know how that worked out. I'm championing for that. My spare time, little spare time I have, I'm president of the San Clemente Friends of San Clemente Beaches and Parks Foundation. We've given back over $1 million to this community. We have to contract with the city. One of the biggest things we do is scholarship for camp. The biggest recipients of that was actually Los Palmas School. They're the biggest participant in that program. I love San Clemente and I love serving San Clemente. Thank you.
All right, next question, we'll start with Lois here. Question, what experience do you have participating in San Clemente, such as volunteering, committee appointments, participating in council meetings?
Well, I haven't been volunteering in the normal sense, but I volunteer my time in going to meeting. I started going to city council meetings on my own to see what was happening in the city of San Clemente. And I wanted to make sure that my voice was heard. And one of the things that I did, I didn't become a member, was the North Beach Homeowners Association. Because they were part of doing something that was really great for this community, in meaning that they were bringing city council members and making them toe the line and say, hey, why aren't you doing something more for us? And this is what we need, and these are our problems, and we need you to do something, and we need you to do something now. We don't need you to discuss it and vote on it 2 years from now. We need action now. And that's how we first got the security, was by going continuously to city council meetings. Because they did not vote for private security the first time around. We had to go there several times before they finally acquiesced and allowed us to have private security, which, by the way, they have removed from the budget.
See everyone? So, I came to San Clemente as a small business owner. My surf company, Sliding Board, we came there for the surf industry that makes San Clemente so special. So, as a small business owner, I've given back to the community. I worked with the Chamber of Commerce and COVID, and I mentor businesses through the courses that I had with how to handle COVID, how to get PPP loans. As a mom, I'm out in the community every day. I'm at our beaches. I'm at our parks. My daughter goes to the Boys and Girls Club, and I'm a volunteer there coaching basketball. I'm an active member in this community. And when it comes to city council meetings, like I said, I'm a newbie to this. I've never been in politics. I never had time to go to city council meetings until I was forced to. Nobody has the time to be doing this. I'm excited to be getting my friends, family members who don't have a voice in this community to be the one representing them in city council. Because I'm telling you, the time being there is hard for young moms, young dads. We need someone on city council that can represent them.
Well, I love when you're raising a family, it's tough to do anything. I haven't already helped when I was raising my family. Fortunately, when I retired, I had some spare time. I've spent all of that time trying to make San Clemente a better place. Instead, I was on the Public Safety Committee. I also worked with the Chamber of Commerce before I was even on the Public Safety Committee because our foundation is a member of the Chamber of Commerce. So I reached out and tried to help any businesses you possibly can. My time on City Council, I think you all know this. If you know me, I answer every phone call, every email, and I do it in a timely manner. I meet with every resident. I spend 30 to 40 hours a week just meeting with residents and trying to, if I can't solve a problem, just point them in the right direction. Also, in my not so spare time again, I'm in a band. I think some of you probably see me playing around town. We donate all the money we make in the band with Boys and Girls. I'm invested in this community a great deal. San Clemente is my first and only love, besides my grandkids and my wife. And I'm not sure what that order might be. I think you people know that I'm invested in this community. I love this community. Thank you.
I have participated in city council meetings for years now, advocating for many issues like the First Amendment rights, private security, public safety, and RV parking at around Maxburg Park, and working with Principal Barosa, Trustee Amy Yancha, Deputy Superintendent Clark County to secure public around Maxburg Park for go to school at Las Palmas and at Maxburg Park. For years, I fought against the toll road on TCA, and I attended TCA Board of Directors meetings I also attended OCTA board directors meetings regarding that, and also for family management, same nourishment, measures. I was appointed on the Citizens Amphitheater Committee by, Mayor, Victor Ball, at the time was city council member. I also volunteer my time with the San Diego Garden Club, helping out at the Parks Number 5 and also for Manteca. I also, on my spare time, I do water plants on Denver Park, as just giving back to the community. For years as an RN, I participated in humanitarian missions with various humanitarian groups, which in Orange County, San Diego County. I have contributed my time writing also letters to other representatives regarding legislation and support of Senator Patton's legislation and support.
This time, what other skill sets and experience do you have that you think would make you a productive council member?
Well. No.
Seriously.
Hello. Yeah. So, I talked a bit about my experience as a small business owner, but what I didn't talk about is my experience on Shark Tank and how I have got an investment from Mark Cuban and Ashton Kutcher, who are still my business partners. Now, I dealing with and negotiating with billionaires, lawyers, that's not. So as a small business owner, I know what our small businesses need, and I know what to do to help them thrive. I'm also a mom, right? That is, I think, my greatest strength. We don't have a mom on city council. We don't have a woman on city council. We need that experience and what us moms do to show and have a voice on our city council. As a mom, I am, like I said, I'm at Sanji Park twice a week because my daughter's on club soccer. Right? I'm busy. Yes, I'm busy. But we all make priorities for things that are important to us. And safety for my kids, that's why I'm running. This is important to myself and my family. This is important for me to put first. I will always make the time, and I certainly, as a mom, know how to manage multiple emails from our constituents. I can too answer emails, phone calls, and see you at the park, see you at the beach, and you can tell me face to face. So thank you.
Well, give a shout out to the dads out there. Well, 36 years on the police department. LA riots, fires, earthquakes. I've had some challenges in my life also where I was able to multitask. I looked at this on the city council and I said I was going to do this. I'm going to approach this just like I did on the police department. The police department, we got a call. We went out and who knows who we were going to go to, but we knew we were going to have a challenge. We're going to have to solve some problems. And I think I was very good at it. I wouldn't last 36 years of doing it. I acted in leadership roles also during many emergencies. And so the other part of it is the voice part. It's interesting because any call I ever answered, I never looked at it as who was I going to be a voice for. I was a voice for everybody, period. And that's the way I've been in the city council also. You know, you look at my website, you'll see my support goes from wide gamut demographic, wide gamut demographic. I answer everybody, I respond to everybody, I treat people, everybody the same way, and give everybody the same service. I will continue to do that. I can be the voice of every resident without a demographic. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Well, as a registered nurse, I've been a strong patient advocate for my patients, when they do not have a voice, such as being under anesthesia. Now, as a result, also as a registered nurse, I was, a nursing coordinator for a humanitarian mission. And I gathered a lot of support trying to, gain representative physicians, anesthesiologists with cleft palate experience and anesthesiologists. So recruiting other people from other countries, from other states to come and help with our humanitarian missions, procurement of supplies, medical supplies, instruments. So I was also a nursing liaison, and I would be able to go to other parts of the world and look at their operating rooms. So I have experience, I speak Spanish, I'm bilingual, I'm able to work with other representatives across demographics, parties. And I think I'm going to establish it before with our representatives. And I think that's really, it's important to have that diplomacy with other representatives to voice our concerns regarding city issues. And I've been just a strong advocate. So I turn that to advocate for city issues such as fighting the toll road, fighting Amazon, supporting First Amendment rights, supporting privacy rights, supporting the Constitution. And I just feel like I've been active in the community for years in one aspect or another. So I'm just willing to voice your concern and be an advocate for everybody. And thank you so much.
Hello. I have 35 years working in the government experience. So therefore, I can take government speak and translate it into plain language that everyone can understand. But the other issues that I've been, when I was able with, when I was working with the Department of Public Social Services, I was sent to Sacramento for 2 years so that I could be the representative from Los Angeles County Medi-Cal policy that implemented the Affordable Care Act on the system that they have in Sacramento. I was also the first homeless supervisor that they had at the El Monte district, and all homeless cases went through my unit. And we had to be available until 5 o'clock that night, and I was responsible for finding every single person who walked through my door a hotel bed to sleep in by that night. I also have been in charge of other specialized units. So whenever they pick out a specialized unit, like they had a CalFresh outreach, and so they selected me to be the supervisor for that. So I had to go and work with the food pantries and see how we could help them more and in getting our people over there to see how they could do with our CalFresh that they have. Because would they be able to spend as much of their CalFresh money over there, or do they just get the money from them? Do they just get the food from the pantry? So it was really, really complicated system to work with them because they didn't want to select, they didn't want to accept CalFresh coupons, but we had to work with them on how much money that person could make in order to go to the food pantry. So that was another one that I was responsible for. I was the only supervisor in charge of the El Monte CalFresh food pantry. So therefore, okay.
Sorry, just real quick, can some of the slides take 2 minutes from it? All the questions are gonna be 90 seconds. I apologize, they all should have been 90 seconds and no, but let's start on the next one. On the next one. But have you already answered it?
Yeah.
He's already in, so yeah, I'm sorry.
Do I get another 30 seconds?
No.
I don't have anything to say.
But we won't be able to get through all the questions if we do it for 2 minutes. I apologize. Late night,
Ellie, rest of the questions. If elected, how much time can you commit to this role?
sorry, read the first part.
You've seen that the most effective council members are those who actively engage with the community, not just by attending council meetings, but by connecting with businesses and residents on a weekly basis. This includes fulfilling committee assignments and serving as liaisons on various boards at the county, state, and federal levels. Based on that, if elected, how much time do you commit to this role? How do you plan to allocate that time to foster community growth, engagement, and collaboration?
Yeah, well, I think I've kind of talked about it already. It's a 30 to 40 hour a week job if you do it right, because residents want response. Get a bunch of emails, a bunch of phone calls, and I think it's imperative that I respond to those. I think even if I can't solve a problem, the resident needs to know that they have your ear, and then at least you're interested in caring enough to respond to them. I take that role on the city council very seriously. There's a lot of committees and commissions. I know we have Mark and Chris back there can tell you that there's a lot of committees and commissions that you have to go and give your time to bring the information back to the city. My personal one is the Chamber of Commerce. I'm the liaison to the Chamber of Commerce. I take that very seriously because small businesses are what make this town thrive. Del Mar Street, El Camino Real, those businesses that trouble thriving, we're going to be in deep trouble. We don't like to see vacancies, and right now we don't have many. It's really good and great. It's great working with the chamber. They're the backbone of this community as far as businesses go. They do so much to help businesses. They do so many activities, so much networking, and I'm really proud to be a part of that. And I will continue. If I can give more time, if there's enough hours in the day, I'll do that time. And when I say 30 to 40 hours, that's 7 days a week, but somebody always needs something, and I'm happy to respond and interview for the time that I have in council. Please contact me. I'm easily available. My cell number is out there. Please give me a call if you have any issues. Thank you.
Just recently I attended two OCTA board of directors meetings and this was the TCAD meetings on a regular basis for 4 years. I attended recently BPR meetings, Coastal Advisory Committee meetings, Planning Commission meetings, Design Review Committee meetings. I've attended or testified under the subcommittee under Senate Senate Subcommittee on Transportation, Rail Resiliency. I have been active in that, as well as listening to other meetings as far as TCA merger meetings recently, sending emails to OCTA representatives, sending emails to TCA CEO Ryan Chamberlain regarding concerns regarding the funding of the Christmas Parkway extension and HOV lanes regarding OCTAs. I reached out to OCTA representatives. So I've been active in the community in one way or aspect or another, and I feel like I have already given a lot of time and effort, and I truly come prepared to all city council meetings. I read all the agenda packets, I research, I reach out to representatives, I look up legislation, I look up government codes, I seek out opinions of city attorneys in general.
Thank you.
Well, I'm retired, so I can give all of my time to this. And that's what I want to do. And the reason why I am running is because I do attend city council meetings. And I really am not liking everything that I'm hearing because a lot of times when we are putting forth ideas, a lot of that information is not getting back to the public. So that's another one of the reasons that I'm because I want to make sure that the public is educated and informed. And when I go out and canvass, I make sure that information is passed on. And a lot of people will tell me they've never heard of that before, they didn't even know that it's happening, and they tell me I can walk away and they'll say, I'm voting for you. Because They never heard of this before, they felt like they should have heard it before, and they should have. Because it was the responsibility of their city council to make sure that they hear about these things. I would go beyond the legal requirement. Not just say, well, I have the legal requirements, and it's posted on this website, and so I don't need to tell them anything else. I would go beyond that, and I would say, no, let's put it up in community centers, libraries, anywhere else where people can get that information more easily. And where they might go and actually look at that. There not very many people are gonna go to the San Clemente website to look for a particular gym.
Thank you.
So I'm really happy that this question is asked the way it is formed right here, because there are people in this room that have said, I am not capable of this job because I am a working mother. And that is absolutely not true. And I say to them, I am the right person for this job because I am a working mother. And so, as a working mom, we all make priorities for what is important to us. This is important to me. It's important to my family. My husband and son, my 3-year-old son is back there right now, supporting me because this is important to him. This is important to my daughter. It's important to our families. And I don't make the time needed to not only be here, but to get stuff done.
The history of North Beach is rich, serving as a beautiful centerpiece of our community. Unfortunately, over the years, it has faced neglect and has been deprioritized compared to other areas, leading to challenges such as a lack of economic development, deferred maintenance, increased public safety issues, and rising homelessness. While recent efforts by the North Beach Community Association and the city have led to some improvements, many promises remain unfulfilled, and we still lack a substantial forward-looking plan. If elected, how would you prioritize North Beach and work to restore it to its former glory?
That's my question. So, yes, I have spoken at the planning commission meetings and the design review committees regarding the restoration of the north of the Miramar Theater. Sorry, I just and the bowling alley. So I have been really concerned regarding that, and hopefully that they will restore the Miramar to, with regarding the historic preservation, to keep that for preservation for years to come. I've also spoken at the city council meetings regarding a empty lot behind us here, or in front of us, behind you, in front of me, the empty lot at North Beach, and this was set aside for parking. So I think it's really important to basically make a parking lot there. So when the Miramar Theater opens up, that we can have another additional parking to support other businesses. As far as the North Beach Community Association, I have spoken in support of bringing back Ole Hanson Beach Club to the city residents. Ole Hanson gave the Ole Hanson Beach Club and the green space to the residents. So opening this back up, rather than just having one person like 24 Carats to have other events like hula dancing, bringing yoga back, bringing this back to our city residents, so we can have better, more finance, more economic stimulation on that, to have better quality of life.
I would like to hear about the North Beach placemaking plan again, because that was true, exciting. And that is what I first heard at one of the city council meetings in 2023. And it would be an absolute glorious part of to North Beach. Because they want to put an ice skating rink on a beach. Can you believe that? We would be the only beach with an ice skating rink. If that would bring tourism in from everywhere, we would be known. Universally, we would be known because no one else would have. And we, of course, we need to have hotels, and we are building too. However, we do need to know how to put that information across to residents. Because I went up to a person at a theater, and I said, you know, you're building this hotel right here on Del Mar. And I talk about the parking, and it sounds like it's going to be an absolute nightmare. And he said, well, no, actually what it's going to be like is like if you go to LA County right now and you have to park 3 feet in, and then you have to go back and get those cars moved in order to get back to your car again. Well, that's what this is going to be like, except it's going to be vertical rather than horizontal. So that made a little more sense to me, and it certainly wasn't as scary.
So I'm very proud to be a resident of North Beach. I live right up this hill, right here, and I love North Beach. And the North Beach Association is really important to partner with. Number one, I'm supportive of sand. We need sand on our beaches, right? We need North Beach to continue getting the sand it needs. So it is the entrance to San Clemente and a beach that people want to come again. I live at the top of the 204s, right? And I can't, like, there are days that I can't go to the beach. I'm hoping that there's sand for my kids to play in, right? Sand is number one important for us to have for people to restore North Beach. The ideas of having activities and the ice skating, right? Like Lois said, like, we need more activities here. We need to take this building back from 24-hour carrots. Like, we need these things. And we need these activities to happen here. But we also need to do it smart. We don't want to turn into Newport Beach, right? We want to have our coastal charm and our small businesses and support those small businesses.
I was walking back a few months and I don't know how you were at the hall we had across the street there, learned a lot of residents what their issues were. Right that same night, the mayor and I went next door and took a look at the Miramar, walked around it. And next day made an appointment with the contractor and our code people, and we walked the location. And it was pretty clear. We said, this can't go on. It's gone on for 4 years. SoFi Stadium was built 3.5 years. This is a light. He said, you need to get the outside of this building done. Period. You need it to make it look like a building so you can take down the fence. And what you do on the inside, you do on the inside. We gave them a timetable. They had to post that timetable. I think they might be a little bit behind, but they said by the end of September, we'd have some stucco on it. Well, they're putting some stucco on now. I hope that's going to happen sooner than later. What they do on the inside is up to them. 24 carats. If anybody lives across the street here, you'll see my truck parked over there on the weekends at 11 o'clock at night. Why? Because I'm monitoring what the situation is so we can keep the thing going forward to either make them conform or there's other options. And so it's continuing to work on that. I think it's the jewel, North Beach is the jewel of San Clemente. If we can get that Hampton Hotel across the street there, it's going to just change the dynamic here. We even had the 7-Eleven guys say, yeah, I might be open to maybe fixing up the outside of the building. What I ultimately like to see is a hotel there, the city take the building back here, really handsome back, get that Miramar looking like it's a building, and then a nice arch right over the top of the street there that says you're entering San Clemente.
All right, next slide. What would you do to encourage business growth in the community, and what businesses would you target, if any, as a carry on?
Okay, well, I don't think anybody comes to San Clemente to shop at Walmart or Target. They're coming here because of our small businesses. So we have to protect them. And I'm hearing a lot of issues from our small businesses. They are saying that they are being basically priced out because of the rent increases. And we don't have San Clemente if we don't have those small businesses. Because our city is based on both the beach and the small businesses that we have that people can just walk up and down instead of in Newport Beach or go down to any other beach where you have to drive up and down. There is no walking up and down from one store to the next. And you cannot visit a ton of mom and pop stores the way you can here. And I got that when I was canvassing also, that somebody who just moved here 3 years ago said, oh my God, I'm finding someplace new all the time. And it's always someplace that is absolutely new to me because I've never tasted them before, never heard of them before, and yet here they are. And you have 500 of those businesses here. So we have to keep them here. Small business is San Clemente.
I 100% agree with Lois. She is so spot on. And, you know, I have 15 plus years of being a small business owner. I know what they need. We need to be marketing for these small businesses. We need to market San Clemente as a place, a tourism place to come to. But at the same time, we need to keep these big investors out. So our small businesses do not get priced out of being here. We need to support them. This is what makes our town so special. If we aren't able to support our local small businesses, we are going to turn into Newport Beach. And I know no one here wants that. We need to be smart in our development and support our small businesses.
We said that, right, I'll just give you like a situation. Contacted by a business owner, right across the street from Sunday's Pizza, small, and owns a small building. He has a business here. He wants to make this his forever business home and his forever home. He had plans into the design and review committee for 2 years to do a Spanish revival building, forever condo on top, and his business down below. 2 years he couldn't get into design and review. I was able to do some communication between his architect and planning, basically. Within a month and a half, he was in design and review. Now he actually has a building permit. He's so excited about not having his business in Laguna Beach and having it here. We need modest development like that to spruce up the north and south El Camino Real. And I think the excuse is a great way to do it. Helps our housing element, and it also helps our businesses. Also, I think the biggest issue we need to address somehow is parking on Del Mar. It's a challenge. There's no movement among the cars. We don't enforce the 2-hour limits. People are parking there all day. We can't get people in to visit Del Mar. If you're going to a restaurant, we'll drive around for 20 minutes to make a reservation. But if you're going to a boutique, you drive down to the parking place, you're going to go to the outlets. So we really need to address the parking, whatever that is, whether it's enforcement or whether it's having parking. But I think if we can get the parking situation a little bit better, we can really revitalize Del Mar. Thank you.
There is one vacancy on Del Mar, and that was the warehouse we just, probably just moved a couple weeks ago. Red has been concerned on Del Mar, and Jador was faced with an increase in rent, and unfortunately, through a friend of theirs, reached out to Valare, the hotel, and was able to go to move, Jador was able to move from there. And so here is the situation where community outreach, community support, being a good neighbor, making connections with one friend to another, one business owner to the other. And I think that's what we need to do, really reach out to the community, reach out to the Downtown Business Association, and make those connections, because I think we have a plethora of people living here that are supportive of small businesses. And I'm in agreement regarding, the parking situation on Del Mar, but that is when speaking with some of the small business owners from Del Mar, considering there's the outdoor dining, because that takes away public parking for people to come in and shop, so that is a concern. I think it's imperative also when I wire, plans on Del Mar on my own. I've seen old signs where Russell Stationery was, or Russell's, there was like a old warehouse sign, so I think those, that needs to be updated.
Thank you.
Yes.
All right, moving into public safety, specific strategies will you implement to address drug-related crime, property crimes, and theft in North Beach, particularly concerning drug sales and criminal activity at North Beach and Maxburg Park, but also many other neighborhoods, businesses.
So, as you know, I got into this because of, Maxford Park. And the gangs and the issues. I mean, we had a shooting at Maxford Park just a month ago. We had a stabbing there. This is unacceptable. This is horrible to happen across the street from our elementary school. This should not happen. I am committed to increasing our public safety efforts in North Beach, in Maxford Park, and other areas that need it. And I will start with the 2 sheriffs that we have on budget that we do not have. We have deputies that we've been budgeted for, and we have not used them. The sheriff's department have not given them to us. We need to put pressure on it. And if you know me, and if you know what I did with the school board, that kept telling me, no, we have other schools that want a fence. No, no, no. I got them to give us a fence. And I will not take no for an answer until we get our sheriff that we budgeted for. And I will continue to support having more safety, especially around our schools.
Well, I'll tell you, practicality, I'll tell you, we did add 2 sheriffs, and I'll tell you the crime hasn't gone down since we added those 2 sheriffs. You can't add sheriffs and sheriffs and sheriffs, that's not necessarily what lowers crime. I'll tell you what does lower crime, and our sheriffs do a good job at it. They have a strategy, they have a trip team, they have an anti-gang team. Sadly, that Angela talked about did occur. The anti-gang team happened to be there. Why? Because they knew there was issues in the area, they were working undercover, and actually made the arrest. The Chilean burglars, it's a big problem. I know everybody was upset about it. We had Chilean was up in arms, so they put the trip team on it, and a couple of weeks later, they arrested Chilean burglars. There's a strategy to law enforcement, and it's not just bodies. There's a strategy to it. And I think our sheriffs are actually doing a really, really good job of it. As far as North Beach and some of the other crimes there, this is why we've enhanced the park ranger program, which is I was a big advocate of. Instead of wearing ball caps and polo shirts and opening and closing the bathrooms, and now we're getting enforcement powers, so they can write citations for camping on the beach, smoking on the beach, minor offenses. They wear badges. They're like official looking, and just their presence is a deterrent. I think we need to keep enhancing that. Deputies can't babysit the situation. That's why we had to get the North Beach security, because they can't just stand by. If we have our own security, when we did it, they could babysit, and they actually reduce crime, I think, more than the sheriffs did. The park ranger program can do the same thing. We need to enhance that. We can deploy them where we need it, and the sheriff just keep on needing to do the good job that they do. Thank you.
I'm glad Maxford Park is mentioned because in 2020, I saw some concerns regarding RV parking, that where people were parking for days to weeks, and also it was RV campers and vans. So I reached out to City Council member Gene James at the time, and he brought it to the City Council. And it was Council member Chris Ham that stated we have plenty of ordinances on the books. They just needed to meet with Captain Manhart at the time. And so to enforce them, 6 months later, they placed parking signs with that said that no parking overnight. So that was fantastic. However, there were still concerns regarding the RV ordinance. And so I brought this issue up at city council meetings, and it was the public safety committee that used the city of Dana Point ordinance for that. However, they're to model our ordinance after theirs. However, there still was concerns because it was less restrictive. So along with and teaming city manager and I, we went through that RV ordinance to secure it and make it more protective for people that went to Master Park and Las Palmas Elementary School. After the shooting in 2022, on July 25th, the Captain Benfield had a neighborhood watch meeting where they did install clock cameras there and lighting and the clock cameras to identify the driver's license.
Okay, well, we did have private security, and it cleaned up North Beach tremendously. And the businesses could operate again without having to move the homeless out of the way when they open the door. So, but now it's gone. And I was walking up here and I saw 3 more homeless out there. So, yes, I'm not talking about the sheriff not doing a good job. I think they do a tremendous job. But I also realize that they have priorities. And if they have a priority 1 call, then they can't go to a priority 3. So there is no reason why we should not supplement the sheriffs with some private security, again, that can do the patrolling. They can be in one area. They can make sure that if somebody is simply sleeping where they're not supposed to be, that they can be talked to, they can be given resources, they can be, that can be handled by someone who is not supposed to be handling a more important call. And so I do believe that private security and sheriffs can work hand in hand. Now, as far as the Black Rangers, yes, they do a great job, but they're not coming in the city. They're not going to come in here. They're not going to point down the mall or out. So where we need them, we need the people that can be where we need them to be. And if that means private security, then that's where we have to go. Because sheriffs and park rangers and any other city staff are very expensive.
What strategies will you implement to prevent public spaces from being used as encampments? And how do you intend to ensure these regulations are enforced?
Yeah, first of all, just to clarify, our park rangers are city employees. They can go on Del Mar. They're not state park rangers or city park rangers, just and well, we've already passed ordinances about sleeping on the beach. We have no tents overnight. We passed those ordinances. They do get enforced. And the problem is that late at night when it happens, all of a sudden our deputies are on, like what was said, priority 1 calls, maybe even Dana Point on priority 1 calls because they have to cover each other. The issue is getting somebody down on the beach to actually enforce it. Our park rangers leave at about midnight or 1 o'clock, and they do try to make a sweep down there. So at least they can, if they can't coax the people to go ahead and leave, they can call the deputies. But even if they do, they go off to leave, and it's hard to get deputies down on the beach. All we can do is keep on calling, and that's, I know a lot of people in this room, they email and call, keep on calling code enforcement and letting them know that they're down there. I think we've done a really good job, actually, of kind of controlling this. We're never going to end it, but San Clemente was the only city in Orange County to actually reduce their number of homeless in the county after the last point in time count. That's pretty spectacular. Our outreach people are doing a really, really good job, and we have to keep on supporting our outreach to get services for people. That's what gets them off of the beach and out of the tents, services. And our outreach people are spectacular at doing that. So we just have to keep on doing what we're doing. We're never going to end it. It's not going to end. But I think we really can manage it well, and I think we're regressing. Thank you.
So as a result of the Supreme Court ruling, Johnson versus Grant passed, the city of St. Clair, the city council members did pass an ordinance to, update that ruling, the camping ruling. Sorry. I hope that's better. So I think it's important to, I've been advocating, since like 2018 regarding, rather than posting on social media, to actually report it to our deputies. And that's been a concern for a while. People tend to put that on social media and not reach out to our deputies and report them. When I was fighting the RV campers around Oxford Park, I had to consistently call the deputies and then also do some education, because they were under the impression that we didn't have an ordinance for RV camping around, National Park or around through the city of Surrey. So basically, it's just making sure and getting that public outreach to report these camping on the beaches or camping in the parks or wherever, and just being on top of that, because I think that's really a concern. And then as well, it's just reaching out to our park rangers, also reaching out to our community development representatives, to Harley, to Troy, and I think that's what we heard.
Well, Martin B. Boyd did not. No. We need to be smart about how we're going to make sure. I know everybody's saying that we're doing a great job and the community outreach people are doing a great job, but in 4 short years, LA is getting the Olympics. So guess where they're going to be sending all of their homeless people? They are going to be sending them out of LA County, that's for sure. And we have to make sure that even around us, in the surrounding areas, how are they updating? How are they enforcing their laws? Because basically, what's going to happen if where are we going to go? We're going to go to the place of least resistance. And if San Clemente becomes that place, that will become their home. Now, I'm saying we shouldn't do anything for homeless people. I spent 6 years of my life every day talking to homeless people. I know what they need. I know what they require. However, I also realize that there are some homeless people that do not want to be helped because they don't want to follow any rules. That's why sober living homes many times are a disaster, because they allow people to come in there and they allow them to continue drinking or they not.
So I'm gonna go back to, what I spoke about before in our gangs. And I said, we have on budget, we're budgeted for 2 more deputies. Rick said, we don't need them, but then he said, we need them for a minute to enforce it. Yes, we need the sheriff's department to give us our 2 deputies that we're budgeted for. We need to push on them. We need to enforce these encampments. Again, we also need to do this with compassion, and this is not just a San Clemente issue. It is our county issue. We need to work with our county to work on this and solve it. Okay, we're not alone in this. We can work together with our county. On top of that, homelessness is also a housing issue. I was a renter here for 8 years and have been pushed out. I dumped my entire life savings to buy a house right here in North Beach just to be able to stay here. That we have a housing crisis in St. Clemente that we need to solve and have affordable housing for people, for not just for our kids and for our San Clemente residents who are also homeless. We need to take care of them.
Moving on from there, do you support a homeless shelter of any kind in San Clemente?
After I support the regional homeless shelter. Sorry, is this better? Okay, sorry. I do not support a homeless shelter of any kind in San Clemente. I do support a regional shelter. And I think that's very important to get regional funding for that. But I think that, yeah, I think that's been a concern for quite some time regarding the homeless, trying to get that regionally. And I think that's, I'm in support with that, with the city council members that they have been, in support of that for a while. I think that's, it for that. As far as safety, I want to bring up, there is a safety concern regarding having a homeless shelter in our town. It's been a concern for quite some time. And so, I think that's one of the reasons why we should have it regionally versus, local. Thank you.
No, I agree with that. I don't support having a homeless shelter here in San Clemente. We have no services to offer. There's no hospital here.
Amen.
There are no real mental facilities here.
Amen.
So all of the things that these homeless people are going to need, we don't have here. If we think they have to be driven 30, 40 miles away to get to the absolute facilities that they require. So it does not make sense to build a homeless shelter here in San Clemente. I told you I worked for the county for years, and yes, they have homeless programs. They have homeless programs for people, for just men. They have homeless programs for families. Why are we not sending them to the county so that they can go through their homeless programs and get housing? Because they have to give them housing on the day that they apply. That is written into the DPSS regulations. And we have them right here, and we are not using them. We are being told, no, we need to have community outreach workers do everything. But they can't. They can't do everything because we don't have everything here for them. But the county has a lot of more resources because they're getting more money from the state. So therefore they can tap into that also.
No, I do not support a homeless shelter of any kind in San Clemente. And I agree a lot with what Lois said. And what we can do is help and support our community outreach efforts and work in a county approach. Thank you.
We've been trying with the county, for several years. We put up the idea, and we get together with Data Points, San Juan, and us, find some unincorporated county property and go in with a team and maybe do a shelter. And we got no traction with the county. They say that there's no property available. So, and maybe there's not. Judge David O'Carter, that actually administers our homeless situation in South Orange County, said that Sacramento is not a place for a homeless shelter. And that's because of everything the world has said, we don't have the services. So yes, it would be great to look at a county or regional solution. Trust me, we've investigated it. We've had a city manager working tirelessly trying to find a way to do it. Mark and I are on the homeless subcommittee. Mark, we've looked, we've tried to find a strategy, and so far we just haven't found a clear path. And we'll keep on working on it because we do have to have housing. We have to find it somewhere. And I don't want to be misquoted. I never said we didn't need deputies. All I said was that adding 2 deputies wouldn't necessarily lessen crime. And by the way, we tried to add those deputies. We couldn't get them because of training. We brought some down that didn't make it. So we've been trying to get those 2 deputies, but maybe everybody did. Thank you.
We've already answered that.
First, yes, thank you.
I answered that one, right?
No, that's, no,
Housing is different.
that's
But
right.
you have, who's
No, not that.
First, yes.
Right, so you get one.
So it's a, who is it me?
Yeah, I'm good.
You know, it's like yours.
You supported housing, how do you think current supportive housing is going?
supportive housing if it's in an area where they can, number one, provide the resources that these people need. Because any numbers you look at, the data is going to tell you that anywhere between 75 to 80% of these people have either a drug problem or a mental problem or both. So therefore, if you can't deal with either one of those issues, then there is no reason to have housing there. Out in another area. It doesn't even need to be in Orange County, but it could be in, say, Barstow. And they have an area where they assess people as they come in. And they tell them, okay, you know what? If you have mental issues, we're going to give you the mental health, put you in a mental facility so that you can get the help that you need. And not only that, but you would transition, you'll be able to transition out of that mental facility into getting to the point where you can actually be earning and have your own jobs and then get your own home and be a productive member of society. And that is what I would support as far as supporting housing.
Okay, I would do that.
No.
Section. Oh,
Seems to be.
Yes, I supported housing was done right. I mean, of our homeless that stay in St. Clemente, a lot of them went to high school, right? Like, they are one of, no, yes. Yes, not very Passing through, went to our high school, talked to our community outreach workers. We need supportive housing for them when done right. We need to be able to give people opportunities. And when they are using resources that we can provide them, and we need to do these things in a compassionate way. Thank you.
Well, we actually have a couple of permanent supportive housing units actually in this area, and I think, yes, with wraparound services, there is a place for them. The issue is, it doesn't seem like, at least the locations here in town, they don't provide the 24-hour service that they need, and that causes the police to be called and other issues. But yeah, it's a model we should have, definitely. I think when other entities come into town, like what they get, and they pay for it, and they build it, and they staff it, I think it's great. I really wish them well. I hope they're successful. As far as the city being involved financially, I just don't think we in any way have the bandwidth. We've actually looked at a couple of motels that were going to be sold, and the city step in and do a partnership, and the conversion cost was just astronomical, and then the staffing of it. So we don't have the wherewithal as a city to do it. If other entities come in, they come in. You know, there's nothing to say that they can't. And I hope that they do get the services. I'd love to see successful for permanent supportive housing wherever it might be, because there definitely is a need for it. Thank you.
I'm glad that Rick mentioned that. There have been some bad actors with supportive housing, and that's been a concern because there's no medical staff there. So then, without any medical treatment or care, things happened, and there's situations where their care is, or their health is impaired, so that's a problem there. Another thing that needs to be addressed regarding supportive housing is that we have to realize that some of the people that are attend there, have dual diagnosis of one, mental health and drug addiction. So they go hand in hand. And so, so that's a real major concern. So if they don't have the right or correct medical treatment, supportive, and that was a concern. So things fall through the cracks. So, but I don't think that our city, should pay for a supportive, housing in that manner. And, again, as Lois mentioned, we don't have a hospital. I know they've been advocating for people, for us to have a hospital years ago. Unfortunately, they lost that battle. And so also that we don't have any mental health facilities. I think the last one that I remember was Capital by the Sea in Dana Point many years ago in the 90s. So thank you so much.
All right, we're gonna move into our beaches. One step, we table tackle and ensure that San Clemente beaches receive sufficient, sustainable sand replenishment.
Okay, so what everyone's been waiting to hear about is sand. It's been on everyone's mind. Yes, I support sand in San Clemente, and it's imperative to having sand here. And whether or not that sand tax passes on this ballot in November, we are going to need someone who you can trust that will ensure that that money will be used for what you are asking it to be used for. You can trust me to do that. I've never wavered. I'm always open and honest. And in that, we will also need more money. Like, that's not enough money to ensure sand on our beaches. I'm the only candidate here that's endorsed by our Congressman Mike Levitt and our OC supervisor, Katrina Foley. We need to have these open relationships with them to ensure that we have grants coming here for our sand. Katrina hired someone recently just to identify these grants for sand and to help get them for our beaches. And I'm committed to working with Katrina. She's committed to working with me. Thank you.
I think the city council is on this litigation putting sand on the beach. We 210,000 cubic yards we were supposed to get. We got about half of it. Looks like we're gonna get the other half within the next couple of months, we hope. And we got a great deal on that. It only cost us $800,000 for what's gonna be, the 90,000 to put on the beach. That's because we got state help. State stepped up and paid for 90% of it. That's great. We're not gonna have that help going forward. We did get kind of a deal, a little over $2 million to get the other 90,000, which is only like $30 a cubic square yard, which is really, really a bargain. You put 30,000 cubic yards of on North Beach here from a scoop permit that we got. We're gonna continue to keep on getting those scoop permits through the state and then finding sand and finding a cheap way to get it here. We got the OCPA has submitted, I think, 540,000 cubic yards to be put somewhere. And that is going to be against the tracks, wherever there's less sand against the track, that's probably where we're going to put it, but it is sand. And we're hoping to get that worked out and that going as soon as possible. And then there's the Sand Day, the San Diego Organization of Governments. We're looking to do a partnership with them. They're only in San Diego now, but they want to come up here, maybe go all the way up to Laguna Beach and work on a program, a long-term program where we can every city can be involved in it, be a partnership. Does have to be a partnership. As far as the sand tax goes, I'm personally in favor. I'm going to vote for it. But the only reason I voted to put it on the ballot is so the citizens could vote, say what their future is going to be. And I think that's what's important.
Excuse me. When addressing beach erosion, we have to take into consideration that we have sort of land formation and Monterey land formation, which means that there is a lot of sand, clay, and groundwater seeping through the bluffs. So that causes coastal erosion. Also, our bluffs are privately owned. The city of San Clemente did pay for the restoration of the Casa Romantica, and however, that was a city project. Other land on the bluffs is privately owned, so there's concern regarding the use of public funds, which we cannot do. It's important, I'm glad I took the call from Chris, Bookley and, Mr. Dan Fu today, prior to coming here from the OCTA. And we talked about grants, and they have applied for grants. And it's gonna be, they applied for some in May, June, July. So it's gonna be, take about 3 to 5 months for that grants. And so that would be anywhere from $70 to $140 million that would go to sand replenishment on our beaches. So I think that's really important. Congressman Love did secure 65% of for sand replenishment for the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. That's very important to do. I have been involved with coastal issues for over a year. I have submitted, there's three coastal studies right now that are current. One for the OC parks, one for our nature-based coastal resiliency study, also one for OCTA rail resiliency. So 3 studies that I participated. I also, I'm sorry. Someone's phone, I'm so sorry. Yes.
I'm not in favor of the sand tax because they tied it to this Army Corps of Engineer project. And therefore, that's the reason I'm not in favor. However, there are ways to fight sand erosion. And in fact, there is a permanent method to tackle sand erosion on beaches. And it's called sand savings, but nobody will tell you about it. And they will say, well, it's not proven, and it's not something that we want to use because it's, we can't scientifically say that it works. Well, we have worked all over the world. And right now, it's being considered for a project in Wailua Beach in Hawaii. So this is what, and once we get this, we can do 4.6 miles of beach for $54 million once we get that technology. And when we have it, it's movable, it's storable. We can take it away, we can put it back, we can use it, it's our last ditch effort. We don't have to spend another dime on sand erosion, rather than the millions of dollars that they want you to spend every 5 years. And mind you, that's only for a small area. And we're not talking about the entire 12.6.
Going to be our last question. And then we'll probably go into the candidates final discussion. Are you, and this kind of takes off on the same question, so if you've already run through it enough, are you in support of securing funding for beach maintenance? If so, how do you plan to secure funding? We collaborate with county, federal, or state agencies.
Well, like a 2-part question. Yeah, that's, we always need to continue to try to find county, federal, and state grants, or any way we can get help. Absolutely. But let's go to the big ticket item here. The only way that we can get $6.5 million a year dedicated, we need $2.5 million a year to do the future Army Corps project, and that'll leave money to get scoop permits or wherever we can find sand. Also leaves a little bit of money maybe to fix up the beach trail and the things that we need to do. Yes, again, I'll just say it clearly. I support the sand tax personally. I'm going to vote for it because I feel that I would like to make that sacrifice, that small sacrifice, to ensure that we have $6.5 million a year to address the issue. But that's not why I'm voting to put it on the ballot. I voted to put it on the ballot because I think this is an issue that the residents need to decide. And it's not being pushed on us. As I read it in a letter to the editor, 67% vote is not exactly being pushed on you. That's a steep path. So if the residents in this town also want to make a sacrifice to almost a 2/3 vote, then I think we've done our due diligence. But this is the future of San Clemente, and it was important to put it on the ballot so all of you have a voice in it. And if it doesn't pass, we will keep dealing with the issue. If it doesn't pass, Right. Thank you.
I'm glad, Councilmember, Rickler mentioned about the beach maintenance, about the trail. It was my understanding, I think in July with Supervisor Goldie had a wellness walk with the city staff, and it was Dave Reagan, Director of Public Safety, Director of Public Works, sorry. He had mentioned that, we went on the beach trail, on the bridge in Mariposa. And, I had mentioned, that, the beach trail, maybe that there was a way of just making that just a regular sand, a dirt trail. And he said that if he would walk out there, he would sink. He was mentioning about continued groundwater that's seeping through the bluffs. And so that's a major concern. So right now, from that time frame, the land is still moving at the time. So I think that going back to supporting grant funds and other measures, reaching out to OCTA, using Measure MT funds for restoration of the beach trail, whether it's the dirt path or maybe a possible bridge. I think reaching out to reaching out to OCTA regarding Measure MT funds. So I am supportive of, right now, it's up to the voters to decide regarding ballot measure BB, and that was important to them. And I support their right to vote and on that measure. And as far as other federal and state agencies, again, reaching out to Supervisor Foley, Assemblywoman Davies, and Congressman Mike Love for other funders.
First, I think we collaborate with counties, federal, or state agencies, and certainly the state should be giving us some money because we have a state beach here. So they should be really unhappy about the state erosion that's happening on their beach. So they should definitely be kicking something in. But there's another part of this that we haven't even talked about, and that is what is the permanent way? And that is using this technology, but not only that, why do we still have the train? In San Diego, they have made an agreement to move the train tracks inland because it is causing so much sand erosion on their beaches. And they have made a commitment to do it within 10 years. So why are we still maintaining that we need to have this train right on our beach when all it has done is collect resentment because the OCTA, that was their go-to move. If, oh my gosh, we have to protect the train tracks, so let's just throw a bunch of boulders on the beach, which also contributed to sand erosion. So, dealing with the OCTA and whether or not they're going to give us sand, that's neat. I've been to the OCTA meetings, some of them, and I have not heard that they have absolutely committed to sand. Now, they may have, but I've also seen reports on a certifier that they have committed to putting another 60,000 pounds of remnant along the beaches of San Clemente. And I have to say one thing I love about San Clemente, we are rebels because we don't allow them to just take over our beaches. We don't allow them to just put sand out there like holes.
Yes, I mean, we've already talked about this, so I'll just say it again, yes. More sand, we want sand. And I plan on only securing funding by working with our county and federal and state agencies. Backstory, I first worked with Mike Levin's team, our congressman, a few years ago when I went to DC to advocate for small businesses and working on making sure that funding was available for small businesses, especially right after COVID. That was part of me advocating. And so I am excited to be on city council so I can continue to be that advocate for you, for Stan, for everything that we need here. I have those direct lines with our federal and state representatives are excited to be able to use those relationships and get what we need.
I got it. Thank you for up against it right now. We go to the panel of candidates.
Have a random-
Three minutes each. We have a
Randomizer.
video randomizer over here.
Yes, we got, so Lois, then Rick, then Amanda, then Angela.
What's 3 minutes each candidate? Thank you.
I became very concerned about strengthening when I attended the long-term financial plan meeting in March of 2024. And learned that the city council, and learned that the city would not be able to meet its financial obligations in 5 years. I discussed our budgeting process with management and staff to determine how the city can meet this shortage. I increase the transparency and accountability of San Clemente by attending local community meetings, developing workshops to educate the public on how to engage with local officials and how to use their voice to make a difference. The workshop would include a mock city council meeting that would feature an explanation of the Brown Act and navigating the city website for using to look at agendas and meetings and notes. This would be followed by a how to speak at a meeting, how to turn in your card, whether or not you need to put in an agenda item. And it would also include protocol for submitting a PowerPoint presentation. So talk about forming a resolution and an ordinance and a charter city and what those impacts would be on city government. I welcome the public's input to resolve issues. I want to hear from the people who have never attended a city council meeting. Thanks to the efforts of the North Beach Homeowners Association, North Beach residents learn how to use their voice to make a difference. People were mobilized to effectively secure private security in 2023. And this private security has been discontinued by the city council. The North Beach Homeowners Association uncovered that the city council didn't establish a conditional use permit for 24 carats to use the Ole Hanson Beach Club. The association held a public meeting with both representatives of the city and 24 carats to discuss this issue. At the last planning meeting, they were in the middle of a discussion that would possibly terminate the contract earlier. Because it had been determined that the Ole Hanson Beach Club, because of its location.
Thank you.
First of all, the other thing is looking at great, so that's one thing I want to say. I was talking about for a second about my endorsements. I'm the only candidate in this district to be endorsed by the Chamber of Commerce, the Deputies Association, and the Firefighters Association. And I know some people, oh, it's a public safety good old boys club. Well, I want to say one thing also. There's another candidate in another district that got all 3 of those endorsements. It's a young mother. So it's not about a dynamic about me being the old guy and getting all this. It's about what these organizations, who they felt would be the best candidate for this job. I'd also like you to, if you could, to go on my website, look at my other endorsements, police chiefs, fire chiefs, assistant sheriffs in Orange County. And these aren't just photo op endorsements. These are people that I worked for. And they don't just say, I'm endorsed, they let them read a little bit about what they say about when I worked for them and what I did. I'm really humbled and impressed by it. 5 former mayors of the city, who I think are the most common sense mayors that we've ever had, endorsed me. Lori Donchak has never endorsed another candidate until she endorsed me, and she's been approached numerous times. I love the city. I want to keep working for the city. I know I have the leadership ability to keep doing it. I go by my track record. The people that I've worked with here, many of you in this room know that, know you can count on me. I know everybody here is sincere and knows they can do a good job. I have done the good job, and I would appreciate your vote if you'd like me to continue to do that. Thank you very much.
So, this is my hometown, and I love it dearly. I won the government of our town, and I fought for years against fighting the toll road. And that is why, I have the endorsement of Senator Pat Bates, because she introduced legislation to avoid toll roads going through our established communities, through our open spaces, through, businesses, churches, and schools. And I also have the endorsement of former Mayor of Mission Viejo, Rhonda Reardon, because of that advocacy. I have been advocating for the betterment of our town for years now, and I am fully dedicated to that and listening to the people. I've always been about the people, about doing what they support. I have testimonials from Michelle Schumacher of the grassroots movement on my toll road, because she knows that it's always been about the people, about the issues, and so that's very important. I also have the endorsement of a testimonial from Laura Smith, another person who I researched with regarding fighting the toll roads and other issues like saving us from Amazon, which would have increased traffic on our arterial, which would trigger, possibly potentially trigger TCA and doing another traffic study that would lead to possible toll roads. I feel that I have years of experience through my advocacy and attending other meetings such as TCA Board of Director meetings, OCTA meetings, reaching out to senators and other representatives throughout the years in support of my hometown. Thank you so much.
Angela?
Wrap it up for us.
Thank you, North Beach Association, for hosting this, and thank you everyone for coming. This is impressive that everyone's here tonight for these important issues that we talked about. Just adding endorsement, yes, I was also endorsed by the firefighters. I was also supported by the sheriff's department, who financially contributed to my campaign. They too believe that I can do this. And I'm really excited and proud to have those endorsements that I spoke of tonight. But these issues that we spoke about tonight, they are personal to me. This is why I'm here. This isn't because of any political agenda I have, or because I want to do anything else. I don't have friends on subcommittees. I'm not here for anyone else but to make a difference. I personally experience the homeless crisis every morning that I go for a run in North Beach. I personally experience the sand issues that we're having every time I walk down the 204 stairs and go play on the beach with my kids, hoping that there's going to be enough sand that day. I'm praying every day I take my kids to school, hoping that there's no issue at Maxburg Park. This is deeply personal, and that is why I'm running for city council. We need a voice that experiences this and lives in these issues and can solve them with urgency and thoughtfulness. I promise to fight for families just like mine and support our small businesses so they can be prosperous. To protect our coastal charm and keep sand on our beaches. And above all, keep our for safety, protection, and expand on those so we can all raise our families in peace. This November 5th, I hope to earn your vote. Thank you.